Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to Willingness Wednesday. I am your coach, Bvon Squires, and today we are sponsored by Spirit Source Connection. I'm just so really thrilled to be here this week, and sorry about last week, guys. I had some technical difficulties at the very last minute. And wasn't able to actually complete the video, so I just decided to just take it down and just come back this week so that we can have everything all nice and fresh and complete everything for this week. Hi, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Hello. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Very happy to see you. I just want to first start off by telling everyone welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. You are in a safe place. If you are new, I just want you to know that you are welcome here. And if you are returning, there's just no way that I can do this without you. So I want you to know that I thank you so much for allowing me to be your coach. I am just so humbled that you continue to come back each week and listen to the things that I'm sharing with you all. And so for those of you who don't know, we started a series about 7 or 8 weeks ago called The Spiritual Principles for Success by Deepak Chopra. And so each week we have been going through each of those chapters and each of those laws, talking about ways that we can actually implement them into our lives, telling us what the law is, why it is critical to our existence, and then giving us steps on how we can actually practically, apply these laws to our lives for results. Because that's what we're after. At the end, what's it going to do for me in the end? How is this going to benefit me, coach? I don't blame you. That's the question I'd be asking too. How is this going to benefit me? Well, you are in the right place. And so I want to tell you tonight, we are talking about Deepak's 7th spiritual law of success. This law is called Dharma, Dharma, not to be confused with karma, but Dharma. And so if you are seeking to know more about your talents and how you can create abundance through using your talents to serve others, well, then you're in the right place. And if you want to know more about the law of Dharma and all kinds of ways that you can apply it to your life, well, then just keep watching, because I'm going to tell you all about that. Stay to the end, because that's where you're going to get all the tips and all of the practical application for this information. Okay, so with no more further to do, we are going to just jump on in and get right on started. Okay, so the spiritual law of Dharma, okay, we already know that's spelled Dharma. This is a Sanskrit word, and Sanskrit is just like ancient text, ancient Indian text is what they call Sanskrit. And so the Sanskrit word dharma means purpose life, right? So the law of Dharma says that we have taken manifestation of the physical form so that we can create a purpose, or so that we can fulfill a purpose. So what Dharma is telling us is that our spirit, our spiritual nature, the essence of who we are, has inhabited this physical form so that we can carry out a purpose. That's the whole reason for being in this physical shell, is so that we can carry out a purpose. Okay? And so the field of pure potentiality is divinity in its essence, and the divine takes human form to fulfill a purpose. Ooh, that is so powerful. I'm just so happy to know these things about who I am as a spiritual being. I'm so happy to bring this information to you as well. So what the law of Dharma is telling us is that we all have unique talents. We have a unique way of expressing it. And there's something that you can do better than anyone else on this entire earth. There's something that you have, and a unique expression of your talent, and that you also have needs for that talent. Okay, so when the needs are matched with the creative expression of your talent, that is the spark that creates affluence. Keep listening, we're going to talk some more. So expressing your thoughts to fulfill needs creates unlimited wealth and abundance. Oh, is that right, Deepak? Well, how is that? Keep listening, I'm going to show you all about it. Deepak started his children, listen to this. Deepak started his children right from the beginning with this same thought that they had unique talents, that they needed to learn how to express them in ways that can help others. He told them that there was a reason why they were here and that they needed to find out what that reason was for. And so at that same age, which is around 4 years old, he also taught them how to meditate. Now, he told them, I never want you to worry about making a living. In fact, if you find yourself unable to make a living, I will take care of you. That's not what you're here to do. You're not here to make a living. You're here to find out who you are as a spiritual being. You're here to find out what your talents are and how you can use those talents to serve mankind. That's what you're here for, and that's all I want you to do. Now, of course, they went on and they graduated from wonderful colleges and got great degrees and all of that. But the thing about it, the reason that they are so affluent and making so much money is because they found out what their talents were and they were able to tailor them to meet the needs of humanity. That's why they're so successful right now. So, what Deepak is asking us to do is to ask ourselves how we can serve humanity and to ask ourselves what our unique talents are, because you have a talent that no one else has, and you have a special way of expressing it that no one else has. And so their children all ended up all, grown up and successful and everything like that because they were following the law of Dharma. Okay, so now as we move on, let's look at the three components of the law of Dharma. The first component is that we each need to discover for ourselves our true self. We need to find out on our own that our true self is spiritual in nature. We are spiritual beings that have taken a physical manifestation form. Okay. What Deepak is trying to help us understand here is that we're not human beings that have occasional spiritual experiences. It's actually the other way around. We're spiritual beings that have occasional human experiences. And that's the part that we seem to get confused with. And that's why it's so hard for us to continue to move forward and strive and to achieve all those wonderful goals that we want, because we have it just a little bit twisted. But just keep listening, because I'm going to tell you all about how to get it all straightened out, okay? Deepak breaks it all down for us. So hold on, let me tell you all about it. So he says here that Dharma, to fulfill the law of Dharma, each of us has to discover our higher selves or our higher spiritual self. We must find out on our own self that what's inside of us is a spiritual embryo that wants to be born so that it can express our divinity. Our divinity is our spiritual nature. And so there's like this little baby seed, spirit seed inside of us that we need to nurture, that we need to develop, that we need to grow. Just like ourselves as babies, we should have been developing it then, but because we weren't taught, we don't know these things, then our parents didn't know this information. Most of us didn't anyway. And so we're kind of like we grew up without developing this part of who we are. And so now we have to go back as if we were embryos and start developing this spiritual part of who we are, okay? Of course, this takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, and you can't do it by yourself, and that's okay, because I'm here to help you. And all you have to do is call me at 317-721-4315, or you can email me at b.vonsquires@gmail.com, and we can talk about all of this, and I can give you a better understanding. Tonight, we're just kind of breezing over it, but you and I, one-on-one, can go more in depth and talk about how you can discover your talents and apply this law of Dharma. All right, so let's keep moving. Now, the second component of the law of Dharma is to express your unique talents. The law of Dharma says that every human being that is alive has a unique talent. You have a talent that is so unique in its expression, so unique that there's no one else alive on this planet that has that same expression of that talent, which means there's one thing that you can do, one way of doing it that's better than any other way on this planet. And when you're doing that thing that you love, you lose yourself in time because you're expressing that one unique talent that you possess. Maybe it's more than one, because some of us have more than one talent. But the point is, when you are expressing yourself in this talent, in your authenticity, you lose yourself in time because you're so involved and so engrossed and so involved and so engaged in your talent that you just lose all track of time. I like to write. I'm a writer. And I tell you what, I like to create things. And so I'd be at home typing 3 o'clock in the morning. I know good and well I got to be at work at 7 o'clock. I'm up typing and working and just lost all sense of time. And I wasn't even tired. I was so energized that I was able to make it through the day. Surprisingly so. It had to be a supernatural thing. You know what I'm saying? I was working in my dharma. I was working in my bliss. I was creating something through my talents that was going to help the masses, that was going to help human beings. And so I got lost in it. So I know exactly what Deepak is talking about here. I'm sure you have those experiences too. So let's keep moving. All right. So Deepak says the third component of the law of Dharma is service to humanity. To serve your fellow human beings and to ask yourself how you can help. He says, just simply ask, how can I help those that I come in contact with? Okay, God, I need you to show me how I can help those that I come in contact with. If you don't know, you don't know. But you can always ask your higher power to reveal it to you. And if you don't have that kind of relationship, you can work with me and we can figure this out together. Okay, you are not alone. I want you to know that. Okay, so when you combine the ability to express your unique talent with service to humanity, then you make full use of the law of Dharma, and coupled with the experience of your own spirituality, the field of pure potentiality, which is our essence, right? Remember that? That's our essence. There is no way that you will not have success or access to unlimited abundance, because that is the real way abundance is achieved. Now listen, Deepak is saying here something so important. And if you don't get anything else out of tonight, I want to repeat this so that you get this. Listen here, okay? Listen. When you combine the ability to express your unique talent with service to humanity, okay, there is no way you will not have access to unlimited abundance, because that is the real way abundance is achieved. Thank you, Deepak. Oh my goodness, there's no way we would have figured that out on our own. Thank you, Deepak. Okay, so this is not a temporary abundance that we're talking about here. This is a permanent abundance, because your unique talent and your way of expressing your service in dedication to your fellow human beings is what makes this a permanent type of situation, a permanent abundance and not a temporary abundance. Now, Deepak is suggesting an attitude adjustment here through asking this question. So how can I help? Instead of asking the question, what's in it for me? We need to ask ourselves, how can we help the next person? How can my talents go forth and help humanity? Because see, when I'm asking the question, what's in it for me? I am locked into my ego way of thinking, right? And see, that is the internal dialogue of the ego when I'm asking, what's in it for me? Now, when I ask, how can I help? That is when I'm tapping into the spiritual dialogue. That's when I'm tapping into the spiritual part of who I am. Now, most often, you can only tap into that spiritual nature through meditation. But what Deepak is saying right here is all you have to do is switch your attitude. Adjust that dialogue from a dialogue of ego to a dialogue of spirit, and there you are. And it's just as simple as asking, what can I do to help others? That in itself ushers us right into our spiritual nature, because we're not being self-centered or self-obsessed. We are thinking about others and that law of goodwill and this law of Dharma. Okay, so now, while shifting your internal dialogue to help to ask yourself, how can you help? You access the spirit. This is the domain of your awareness where you experience universality. Now, next, we're going to talk about how to apply the law of Dharma. But before we move on, I want to tell you that I know this information is a lot. This might be the first time you've heard this kind of information, and that's okay. I'm here to hold your hand. I'm here to walk you through it. I'm here to help you understand all of this. So don't get all freaked out. All you have to do is just call me or email me, and we can talk more about this, okay? All right, now moving forward to the part you were actually waiting for, there are two commitments Deepak is asking us to make here. The first commitment is seeking our higher self, which is beyond the ego. Now, we're going to do that through a spiritual practice. And if you don't have a spiritual practice, that's okay. I can help you develop a spiritual practice. Secondly, you're going to discover your unique talents. And thirdly, you're going to ask yourself, how are you best suited to serve humanity? That has to be your ongoing thought, your ongoing quest. What can I do to serve humanity? What can I do to make myself more useful? And in that, you are creating your own abundance, because then there is an exchange from the unseen to the seen. You actually connect your talents with someone else, another human being, and the exchange is made. And that is how, we help each other. I help you, you help me. And together we manifest this Dharma in our lives. Okay. So you're going to sit down and you're going to ask yourself this question. If money was no concern and you had all the time in the world and all the money in the world, would you still do things the way you are currently doing things? Well, if your answer is yes, that means you have reached, the law of Dharma. You are working in your talent, you are in your passion, and you are in your bliss. But if you cannot say that, well, then of course you're still going to have to create that. You're still going to have to look for that. Okay, you're going to ask yourself the question, what can I do? How can I use my divine talents to serve humanity? You're going to write it down on a piece of paper, whatever comes to mind, whether it sounds silly or not. No answer is a silly answer, because you really don't know what God is trying to show you. So don't be alarmed when you write something down on the paper that was a surprise to you. Some things that you write down, you probably already have an idea in the back of your mind what your talents are, how you want to help humanity. But some of these might be brand new, and that's okay too. What a nice surprise, right? So here we go. Here are the 3 steps to apply the law of Dharma. The first step, I will spend time in silence every day to get in touch with my inner spiritual self. Okay? I will experience the law of pure potentiality. I will set aside 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening. And all I will do is just sit there and listen. I will listen for contact with my spirit. I will just listen. Okay. Now, number 2, I will make a list of my unique talents, and then I will list 3 things that I love to do while expressing my talents. When I express my unique talents and use them in the service of humanity, I will lose track of time and create abundance in my life as well in the lives of others. Number 3, I will ask myself daily, how can I serve and how can I help? The answers to these questions will allow me to help and serve my fellow human beings with love. Now, I just want to tell you that these 7 spiritual laws of success are powerful principles that enable you to attain self-mastery. If you put your attention on these laws and practice these steps outlined above, the ones that I told you about, then you're going to see that you can manifest anything that you want into your life. You will also see that life becomes more joyful, abundant, and meaningful every day. Okay? These laws are also spiritual laws of life, and they make life worth living. They give meaning to your life and make you feel as if you are here for a divine purpose, because you are. And I'm just so happy to have been able to bring this series to you these last few weeks, and it has really helped me in my life too. At the time that I started this series, there was a dream that I had in mind. It was nothing tangible, nothing to touch, nothing. And as of this past week, by applying these spiritual laws and these things into my life. I'm not just reading this stuff just to be reading it. I'm not just coming here to tell you something and ask you to do things that I'm not willing to do for myself. But because I was willing to follow these steps, I was able to manifest through the grace of God and the power of the universe. I was able to manifest so a wonderful new reality into my life that is just that is just totally mind blowing, just totally overwhelming to see that my reality was just once a thought, was just once a dream 8 weeks ago. And now it is my true reality. Now it is tangible and evident in my life. Oh my God, I cannot tell you how incredible that feels to know that I was able to take these steps and apply them to my life. I'm telling you, this works. It works. I mean, I'm over the moon with excitement, and I'm so in awe of my life right now through applying these simple steps the way that I have shown you guys how to do them here. And so I just want to let you know that it is a real thing. I don't know exactly what we're going to embark on next, but if you guys meet me back here in the first Wednesday of 2022, you'll find out all about it. I think I want to embark on self-confidence. That's something that we can all use some help with from time to time. And I think that's where we will start. We'll start with self-confidence as a topic for 2022, getting us ready to embark on our wonderful journey and all of the magnificent blessings that are held in store for us, waiting for us to get to them in 2022. And so in the meantime, I am going to pray for you and ask God to bless you really, really good. I won't see you next week, but I will see you the first week in January of 2022. I love you so much. Thank you for always meeting me here. Thank you for being so loyal. I am so honored to be your coach. And we will just continue this relationship and continue to thrive in 2022. And we'll talk more about that when I see you then. In the meantime, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and any other holiday that you and your family celebrate during this season. I want to wish you a happy whatever that is from me to you. And thank you so much for all of your wonderful love and support. I will see you next time right here on Willingness Wednesday. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.